back of the garage is your main breaker panel. Everything is labeled here. When you have any of your breakers tripped, you just flip them back. If any of them trip naturally, or if you test it, you do have to pull it back towards the off position and then towards the on position to turn it back on. All right, on the outside of the house near the meter, there's an external breaker box. If you lift up, there is a little tab here. You have to press down on it and lift it up. You have a breaker for the AC unit, for the main panel. So this is the main cutoff for the panel that's inside the garage. The range and the dryer. The range is currently off. We have a gas range inside of the unit right now, but there's also an option for a electric range. That circuit is just turned off. And then this is the dryer. All right, a lot of times in homes you'll have the outlets that have the GFCI buttons on them, like a reset and a test. In this house we don't have any of that. That's all controlled at the breaker panel. So around your sinks in your bathrooms and around the kitchen sinks, the GFCIs are all in the breaker. So if anything pops because of a ground fault, there's no GFCI outlets that you have to reset inside the house. You have to go out to the breaker box and see which one's flipped. All right, so we have 5 smoke detectors in the house. 2 of them are also carbon monoxide detectors. This one, all the ones inside of the bedrooms are just smoke alarms. They are not hardwired. They do not have replaceable batteries. So they just have a 10-year battery life in them. You can test them by just pressing the button on the front. On all of these, there is a green light that will flash every 60 seconds to show you that it's operational. You can press the button and it will test it. We ask that you test these once a month. 2 of the units are also carbon monoxide detectors, and they are the ones outside of the furnace and at the top of the hall. Testing is the same procedure, and all of them have 10-year life batteries, so there's no changing the batteries. Once they expire, we will replace them. So water meter, we have a water key, and we put it right here in the front of the garage, underneath the sprinkler system and next to the water softener. It looks like a T and has this little U-shaped piece at the bottom. The water meter and the cutoff is out at the street. At the street, there is a plate that shows water. You can take out the middle one, and then you take out the big one. To shut the water off, there is a valve right here that has a hole on the bottom part of the valve and a hole on the top part of the valve. If the utility company chooses to turn off your water, they may come and lock that using those holes. But to turn it off, you simply come in here and you twist it so that the holes line up, and that turns the water off. And then to turn it back on, you point that hole towards the house. This is also the meter, but all of this is an electronic meter system. There's actually nothing that you can read here. That just gets sent to the water company. All right, so water supply line shutoffs. Underneath this sink, there are actually 3 valves. One for your hot water, one for your cold water, and then a third that it's a cold water, or a third that is a hot water for your dishwasher. So underneath, all of the valves are quarter turn. The 2 valves for the sink are up high. The valve for the dishwasher is down low, and it is a quarter turn. So to turn it off, you tighten it or move it in the tighten direction to turn it off, and that shuts the water off. And then to open it, you loosen it so that the water is turned on. This is the hall bathroom. So to the left of the toilet, there is a valve. It's a quarter turn valve, same as the sink. You go in the tightened direction to turn it off and the loosened direction to turn it on. Okay, this is the vanity in the hall. So if you pull the middle drawer out, you'll see that there is a U-shape section here to accommodate for the trap, and the valves are in the back. Same quarter turn, tighten to close, loosen to open. This is the primary bathroom, and again to the left and tucked way in behind the toilet is another valve. Same quarter turn, tighten to close, loosen to open. This is the primary bathroom vanity. So underneath each sink there is this open area that you may have stuff in here stored. Under here there is a hole to accommodate for the trap. Just above that are the two valves. Again, quarter turn, tighten to close, loosen to open, and it is the same on this side. There's the hole for the trap and then the two valves. This is the upstairs Jack and Jill bath sink that's on the front side of the house. We have the faucet here with the sink. Underneath, if you open here, you're gonna have the same thing that we've seen everywhere else. You've got your trap here, and then you've got a valve on each side. Again, quarter turn, tighten to close, loosen to open. All right, so this is the upstairs Jack and Jill bath toilet. Again, the valve is just to the left of the toilet, down towards the bottom on the wall. It has the same quarter turn valve. This is the upstairs Jack and Jill sink to the back side of the house. It's the same as the front. So you have the trap down below and you've got the two quarter turn valves. Okay, this is our water softener. It's in the front part of our garage. You shouldn't have to do much to maintain this, but put salt inside of this salt hopper. So if you'll see inside of the salt hopper, right now it's almost completely full. It's up to this number 4. You can fit about 5 bags of softener salt. We just get this from HEB, Lowe's, Walmart, wherever you would like to pick it up. Currently the price is about $8 a bag, $8 to $10 a bag. There's also some shutoffs. So you guys should not have to worry about maintaining the shutoffs on the water softeners themselves, but you should make sure that the valves are all pointed towards the 2 canisters, not shut off in a 90 degree angle. There are some little wrenches here to assist you with that. You also want to make sure that this line, which is the drain line, is always connected here. It does have a clamp on it. And that the 2 source, this is the water softener loop, so the valve on the incoming water should be pointed away from the wall, and the ingoing water back to the house is also pointed toward the house. If you need to shut this off for any reason, there is a softener loop bypass valve. So if this valve gets shut off and this valve gets shut off, then you will not be using softened water, but then you must open up this little panel here and turn on this valve to have water to the house. In all cases, in most cases, if you're using the softener, this valve should always be off. If this is on, it's gonna bypass the softener and you're gonna have hard water. There's also a pressure reducing valve behind this panel here. You should not have to mess with that. If there is a pressure issue with the home, then that is something that we would have a qualified plumber work on. All right, this drain line that is attached to the softener, it runs up to some PVC that's on the wall, and it runs across and over here and down behind this cabinet, and then goes through the wall comes in through this hole here and goes into the drain. This should always remain in this drain. This is when the water softener regenerates, it runs a ton of water through it. And so this is the drain where we make sure that the water does not get inside the house and it actually goes into the sanitary sewer. Okay, at this home we have a full sprinkler system. It has 5 zones. The sprinkler controller has space for 6 zones, but the 6th zone is inactive. It's off. How to operate this? It's currently in the off position, so right now it will not operate. To turn it on for program, you turn it to the green circle at the top, and then it will run whatever program we have scheduled here. It will also show the next time that a zone will run. To program the sprinkler system, you move it to the number that you would like to program. You can identify how many times per day. You can identify that this zone needs to be off, or it's going to run 1, 2, 3, or 4 times. Here, we only run it 1 time, and we run it on the scheduled day. Right now, it is set to run on Mondays and Fridays, but this can change based upon the utility company's recommendations or requirements. This zone is going to start at 6 a.m. and run for 15 minutes. You can adjust those times with these buttons here. Then you will see as I go to zone 2, this one will start at 6:15. This one will start at 6:30, and so on. You can also choose a zone and then press this button just to water that zone, or you can choose a zone and press this button and it will do all of the zones that are not turned off. For San Antonio, they have strict regulations around when you can and cannot water. Since all of the meters are electronic and they monitor those, they will know when you are watering your system. They do still have to physically identify that you're running the system outside of those times. So you will see SAWS representatives driving around if they think that you are watering outside of those zones. Generally, they give you a warning, but then they have some pretty steep fines if you're watering outside of the watering times. Okay, so the water heater is in the utility between the kitchen and the garage behind this door. It's a gas water heater, so you've got water coming in at the back and going out in the front. You also have a gas line with a shutoff down at the bottom. All right, so the garage door controller is here just right outside of the door. There's a light control and there is a button control, and then there's also a lock, so you can lock or unlock the garage door opener. We keep it unlocked as long as you're wanting to access. The garage door opener is here. In the case of an emergency that you need to unconnect the door from the door opener, you can pull on this cord. I'm not going to do it right now, but you can pull on this cord right now and it will unlink the door to from the operator. This is the utility room. We have a washer connection here. So hot water, cold water. This water, if you turn that valve, it will turn on. This is a quarter turn. So when you turn it a quarter, it's going to be full on. Same with the cold water, and then your drain from your washer goes into the middle. This is a dedicated washer electric plug, You can plug your washer into these, but these are not dedicated plugs for the washer. This is a full 15 amp plug for your washer. And then for your dryer, you have your dryer outlet here, and you have your dust or your outlet, whatever that thing is called, your vent that goes here. This vent actually goes up into the attic and over and goes out the side of the house. Okay, in this house, if this stand-up freezer is here, I just wanted to have a note here that if you have a power loss, there is a little light here on the front. So if the power goes out and the power has been off for a number of minutes, and I'm not exactly sure what it is, this light will show up identifying to you that there was a power loss and that potentially the freezer could have defrosted a bit. In addition, this freezer will beep at you if the door is open for too long. This is a frost-free freezer, so you should never have ice build up anywhere. If you ever do have ice build up anywhere, there is something wrong with the freezer, so let us know. All right. For this particular refrigerator, we have a filter that's down inside of between the two crispers here. So if you need to change the filter, and we recommend doing that, I think they recommend once every 6 months. Since we have whole house filtered water, it's less important to do that so frequently. Here you would just simply unlock it and pull it out straight, and then put the new one in and lock it. You do have a little bit of leakage of water when that pulls it out, so I'm not gonna do it right now. Just make sure that you clean up that water whenever you change the filter. In this refrigerator, the top ice maker does not work. We've never used it. We use the top one for water only, but there is an ice maker in the bottom one, and there is a tray full of ice here with an ice scoop in the bottom. Again, this is a frost-free pull-out freezer, so you should never have buildup of ice. If you do, there's a problem. All right, this is a built-in microwave that we have in the island. With this particular model, if you have a power loss, it will revert to its default settings, and it will default to locking the door anytime the microwave is in use. To change that setting, you want to press the door unlock button and hold it. And on the screen, it will normally say 1 on, and then you press the 2. So I can press the 1 and it turns the lock on, or I can press the 2 and it turns the lock off, and then press start, and that saves your information. Additionally, for the clock, you just press and hold the clock button. Sorry, you just press it, and then you enter in the time and press the start button, and that saves the information for you. This is the fireplace. It is a wood fireplace with a gas starter. So number one, the flue needs to be open anytime that the fireplace is being used. Having the flue open all year round does not necessarily hurt anything, but you must have it open when you're using the fireplace. If you have it closed and you build a fire, the house will fill with smoke. The flue opener, the latch, inside of here there is a piece of metal, a flat piece of metal with a hole in it. If it's pushed back, the flue is closed. To open it, you can use your finger and pull it forward, or you can use a fireplace tool that's got a hook on it, and you want to pull it all the way forward. Having it all the way forward will open the flue and allow air to go up. Also, the gas starter. there is a key for the gas starter, and it's on the left side, almost to the end of the fireplace. To open the gas, you put the key in here and you loosen, and it turns on the gas, and you can turn it off by, again, it's just a quarter turn. When it's on, you want to be ready with a flame. You can use a match or a lighter, and on the top side of the starter, there's this tube in here. The gas will come through that starter and it will shoot gas out of those little holes, and you can light the starter. You want to make sure that anytime that you've burned wood in here, that you clear the ashes away from that starter if you're going to use the starter. We recommend that that starter tube is never covered with ashes. You're going to get the best flame. Additionally, there is this rack in here that can be pulled out to clean. There is an ash bucket in the shed that you can put those ashes in. You should always let those ashes cool in that bin. Never put them in the trash can. It will start a fire. There's also this shield here for sparks. If you want to pull it across, we never really use that. And then these doors here close for the fireplace. All right, at this home we have Google Fiber. It's installed. It's not, you have to subscribe to your own service, but it is run to the home. The actual incoming signal goes to a box that's out next to the electric meter, but then inside the home, there's this Google Fiber box here where you would have your router. There's a plug for this box here, and then you can plug your router in. Google Fiber has their own router, repeater, hardware that they will give you if you choose, if you subscribe with them. Okay, this is the entryway of the home. We have the thermostat here. You have all of your settings here. You can cool and heat. I won't go through all of the functions of the thermostat, but this is where you control the HVAC. There's one thermostat for the entire house. All right, so the air filters are, this is the primary bedroom. Right outside the primary bedroom door is the HVAC system. There are 2 filter locations. One is right below the HVAC system door, and one is inside of the primary bedroom. To replace these, there's 2 metal tabs at the top, and it kind of folds down. You take the old filter out, and you put the new filter in, making sure that you pay attention to what way the airflow goes. Airflow goes into these filters, or into these registers here, so you want to make sure the airflow arrow is pointed in, and we also recommend that you write the date that you change it so that you can remember to change it on time. Depending on the kind of filter that you use, you should replace these every 1 month to 3 months. In San Antonio, it's pretty dusty, so we usually try to change them more often than less often. That filter is a 12 by 30 by 1. This filter is a 12 by 12 by 1. Again, airflow goes in. Close the tabs, and then you can dispose of these in the trash. We usually order the air filters that are MERV 8 off of Amazon. All right, this is the HVAC system. One other thing that we recommend that you do is to flush the drain line with vinegar every month. So in order to do that, I do not recommend, this is a valve that if that water line that drain line gets clogged, and in San Antonio with the high heat, there's some bacteria that grow in the line, and it is regular that that line will get clogged if you do not clean it out with vinegar. If it backs up, this valve will keep everything from overflowing so that there's not a mess, but it will shut off the AC system. You will know that that is the problem when you come out here or when you open this door and there is a red light that will be flashing on this valve right here. If that happens, you can call the HVAC company. Our HVAC company is Air and Plumbing Today that we have the sticker on. That's who installed it. You can call them and have them repair it. For the vinegar, what we recommend is that there's a valve, there's just a vent over here on this side, on the other side of these lines. You can take this off and you can pour just, I would say a cup of vinegar mixed half and half with water is plenty. And then just replace that line. I also have a syringe with a tube in it. If that's easier, you can fill this syringe up, put this tube in that line, and then flush out the line. It should just naturally drain out of the HVAC system.